What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the channel today. Currently, it is absolutely pissing rain outside, so if you guys hear anything like that, it's not me. It's not my house collapsing. It's just pouring absolute cats and dogs right now. But the purpose of this video is not to talk about the weather by where I live. It's to talk about the corners in this upcoming draft class. Now, I did a positional ranking video on quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers. So now I'm going to talk about the corners. The next one I'm going to talk about is defensive linemen. So that'll be my final kind of positional ranking video. So if you guys have not seen those other videos, make sure to go check them out. Also, be sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 100 subscribers before the draft, or by draft night, rather. We're currently sitting at 91, so y'all know what that means. Anyway, with the draft a week away, exactly as of today, I thought I would finish up my positional ranking videos. Today we're going to talk about corners and a few things just kind of off rip. This is a pretty good corner class. I would say it's a pretty good year to need corners. I think legitimately there are like 4 or 5 guys that are going to go in the first round, and we'll get into those as I go down the list. But this is a really good class. You know, last year was a good class with Stingley and Sauce and Tariq Woolen. Obviously, Tariq Woolen being the best out of the 3, but that's neither here nor there. But I just think that this is another really good year to need corners. Guys are going to be playing all over the place. There's guys that are versatile. So if you need a corner, take one this year, obviously. Let's go ahead and get into our rankings. Obviously, guys, make sure to comment down below what you think of my rankings, because I could be wrong. I could be. So, whatever. Number 10, I think Riley Moss. Now, Riley Moss is the most rare breed of all type of corners, and that's because he's a white cornerback. And I don't say that as a joke. I literally mean I don't think that there has been a starting corner in the NFL that's been white since like 2002. Pretty much since my whole life, right? Unless you count, unless Troy Apke started. I don't know, whatever. That's besides the point. Riley Moss, he can return. He's got return ability. He returned kicks at all 3 levels. He's got good 4.45 speed. You know, the thing with Riley Moss, man, he's scrappy. He's sneaky athletic. He plays the game the right way. But, Riley Moss played for that really good Iowa defense, and I honestly think that Riley Moss is going to be somewhere in the vein of a late second to kind of a middle third-round pick. That's kind of where I could see him going, so maybe pretty much like the middle of day 2 is kind of where I see him going. My number 9 corner is Julius Brents out of Kansas State. 6'3", 202, 34-inch arms. That is really good size and length. And obviously, size doesn't always matter. But in terms of corners, I think you really do want those long arms. You like guys that can play big. And some of these receivers out there are like 6'4", 6'5". Some of these 5'9" guys have no chance. So size does matter in certain instances, but just like in other aspects of life, it's more about your technique than it is your actual God-given size. So we're going to go ahead and talk about him. Listen, he is very reactive. He's very physical. Had a great Senior Bowl. If you guys want to go watch the tape from Mobile, Alabama, played really, really well. Couple of problems, though. He will be 24 in January, so for parts of his rookie year, he will be 20. Well, if this team makes the playoffs, for part of his rookie year, he'll be 24. It's a little early, and he needs to get a little bit stronger. He's kind of got a lean frame at this point. But I could see him going in the middle of the second round all the way up until the early in the third round. When we start to get into the guys that are like bona fide first-round picks, I'll go ahead and give you guys specific teams that I think they could land to. But right now, I'll just be broad. Cam Smith. Cam Smith, from all accounts, is very, very, very competitive. He's a competitor, and that's something that you really want as a corner. They've described him as angry. He's competitive. He's hungry. All good traits. He's quick. Also ran a 4.45 in the 40, which is a good time. And I think he's really good with deep ball tracking. He's able to play the ball in the air very well. Now, I can see Cam Smith going late first round all the way up to the late second. So I think from picks 32 to 64, or 31, excuse me, to 63, it's kind of that area where I think Cam Smith would end up. Number 7, I have a guy who people have a lot of mixed opinions about, and I think I like him a little bit more than some people, but I understand their pause on him. Kelee Ringo, the corner out of Georgia. He's got a really good blend of size and speed. I mean, he ran track in high school. The guy's legit. I think he's like 6'2". He's legit, good length, good height, good speed. That's a good combo at corner. he also played in the SEC, so he was playing against really good competition. He's playing against Alabama every year. He's playing against, LSU. He's playing against all these guys. And obviously, being that he was on Georgia, they won 2 back-to-back national championships. So by definition, they did play the best teams in the nation in successive years, right? And also that he did not, well, the Georgia defense in general, but him specifically because he's a corner, did not let Quentin Johnson kill him in the national championship. Quentin Johnson is projected to be a first round pick, so that's very good. I can see some pause on him. Some people say they don't like his hip mobility. They think that he doesn't have, good enough, ball tracking abilities, and I can understand those points. I more agree with the hip point. But I still think that he's a good corner. He's definitely a good outside corner. Probably not going to play him in the slot. Um, but he's a good outside corner, and I think some team will definitely take a hit on him. Late first to the mid second is probably where I could see him going in the 40s, like right around there. Um, Number 6, a guy who I think has really been shot up the draft boards in the last couple of weeks, Emmanuel Forbes. His stats are crazy. I mean, his stats go burr, if you know what I mean. He's got really good arm length, and again, that's a good point that we're going to talk about with a lot of these corners. You want guys with long arms so they can get the ball in the air, they can break up those in-breaking routes, everything like that. So if they get beat by a half a step, their arm length can overcompensate for their lack of coverage on that rep. You know what I mean? Emmanuel Forbes also has really good ball skills. It's kind of evident by his stats. Go look up his stats. His stats are fucking crazy. He set a bunch of records from where he was at. He set a bunch of records. I think even as a freshman, I think he set records from what I was seeing. So I can see Emmanuel Forbes going, again, kind of like Kelee Ringo, anywhere in the late first round to the mid-second round. I see him more in like the 30s than I do with Kelee Ringo in the 40s. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of either way. My number 5 corner, which this is some people's number 1 corner, so I have a bit of a contradiction with a lot of people's lists. I know this is NFL.com's number 1 corner. My number 5 corner is Christian Gonzalez. Christian Gonzalez is a very gifted athlete. His dad played professional basketball. Both of his sisters, I think, are track athletes. He's obviously very athletic himself. Came from Colorado, went to Oregon because of Dan Lanning, the former Georgia defensive coordinator, taking the head coaching job at Oregon. Recruited Gonzalez there. Gonzalez went there and was the cornerback 1 this year. And Dan Lanning had a lot of nice things to say about Christian Gonzalez. And the reason that I think that that's valid. Obviously, he's a coach, but some coaches just try to prop up their players for no reason. But Dan Lanning has seen legit NFL talent at his time at Georgia, right? He knows what championship caliber players look like because he had the first one with Georgia before he left for Oregon this year, and he was just raving about Christian Gonzalez, calling him, hardworking, competitive, does the right thing, doesn't say a lot, does his job, everything like that, everything you want to hear. So I think he could get a little bit better with his ball skills, but other than that, I think Christian Gonzalez is, again, he's the highest rated corner on a lot of people's boards for a reason. This guy's very athletic, very gifted. He is, in my opinion, going to go to in the early to mid first round. I can see him going specifically at picks 6 to 26 being Detroit and 20 being Seattle. If he's there at 20, Seattle's probably not going to pass up on him. They'll take him. And then if Detroit likes him more than they like Witherspoon, I could see him going as early as 6. But I could see him probably going somewhere in that. I could see him going 8 to Atlanta if we're being completely honest. They'd need a corner. I think Witherspoon's likely to go to Detroit at 6. So I can see him going as early to Atlanta, realistically speaking. But again, if he's there with Pittsburgh at 17, Washington at 16, even New England at 14 could probably take him there. That's probably where he can go. So he's got a little bit of discrepancy about where I see him versus where I think he goes, but I still think that he's drafted very, very highly. DJ Turner, corner from Michigan, who is, ironically enough, the second best corner from Michigan. Will Johnson, who is the current corner, is not going to be draft eligible for another couple years. We'll be talking about him, so bookmark this video. In a couple of years, Will Johnson is going to be a fucking freak. DJ Turner, man, that guy is fast. He ran a 4.26. That was blazing. He's creeping up on John Ross's record at the combine, and if he had broken it, I'm guessing that he would have gone 9th overall as well to a specific team, which in this case would be the Bears. And then at number 10, the Eagles would then take the greatest quarterback of all time because that's just how it goes with people who break the 40 combine record. Anyway, I think DJ Turner has a good mix of man and zone capabilities, which makes him flexible for different schemes. Um, I can see him going anywhere between the late first and late second because I'm seeing a lot of differing scouting reports on him. And so I don't know if teams value him as highly as I think he does, but I think he's a late first round talent. But I think I could see some teams having pause on him um, for sort of specific reasons. All right, number 3, Deonte Banks ran a 4.35 at the 40-yard dash. Fast guy, like I said, good hips. He's very physical. He's very smart. Deonte Banks is a guy that played in Maryland. I really think that he is like the beginning of the second tier of this corner class, right? I have the top 2 obviously that I haven't mentioned yet, and then this is like tier 2. He's the number 1 guy right there. I think he's got a lot of really good things to offer. I really definitely see him. The range he going in is the late first, um, middle to late first. If you want to count like 17, 18 as the middle, and then the late first. I don't think he gets out of the first round. I think it would be a steal if he got out of the first round. Um, I could see the Vikings, I could see the Ravens, I could see a lot of these other teams, the Bengals maybe taking him in the first round. He's a first round guy. He's my number 3 corner in this class. All right, number 2, Joey Porter Jr., the corner from Penn State. Listen, this guy's long. He's physical. He plays well. He's got good ball skills. And let's not forget to mention that his dad also played in the NFL and was very good for a number of years. Joey Porter Jr. is, in my opinion, the most underrated corner in this class. Some people have him as corner 3, corner 4. I've even seen him at corner 5. I couldn't disagree more. I think Joey Porter is legitimately in competition for the best corner in this draft class. And I think that whoever gets him will be getting a steal. My Seahawks, I've mentioned, they pick 5 and they pick 20. If he's there at the board at 20, they're going to take him. I mean, he's a guy that they are going to love. He's got long arms. He's physical. That is the prototype that Pete Carroll looks for in cornerbacks. And I would be absolutely over the moon excited if we were able to land Joey Porter at number 20. But I don't think he gets to number 20, unfortunately. I think he goes somewhere in the middle of the first round. Again, I think he could get scooped up by the Patriots at 14. I could see the Steelers at 17. I could see Washington at 16. I could see a lot of other number teams. But if he's there at 20, Pete Carroll, John Schneider, you better take his ass. And then my number 1 corner in this draft class, call it my Illinois bias, call it whatever you want. I don't care. I love this guy, Devon Witherspoon. He is physical. He is a great tackler. He is aggressive. He plays downhill, and he's got versatility at safety or corner. I love this guy. I think he's the best corner in this class, bar none. And where's he going to go? He's going to go in the top 10. He's going to go probably number 6 to Detroit. That's what I would put my money on at this current point. But again, if he doesn't go 6, look for Atlanta at 8, maybe even the Bears at 9. He's not going to get outside of the top 10, I don't think. And whoever gets him is going to get the best corner in this draft class. So that's my cornerback rankings for this upcoming 2023 NFL draft. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm interested to hear what your rankings are for these corners. As always, make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 100, hoping to hit that by the draft. We have 7 days. Let's go, guys. I'm going to be making a lot of content on the draft day, so make sure to stay tuned. Love you guys. Peace.